All right, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. So, introduce a little bit yourself. What are you doing?
I go by the name of Chucks, aka CHXXX, and I'm a artist, producer, and yeah, I love to make music.
That's dope. What you been up lately? What you were doing like
Yeah, yeah, I've been making a lot of tunes. Dropped a single, "Song of the Summer," Monaco, and dropped an album, an EP, "Sweet Sensations," which you helped with the cover. So thanks to
Dope,
that, the art
dope.
direction, and working. Dropped a project with Shine Music as well. Another EP, "Pieces of Paradise."
That's dope. Any plans for 2025 or the
2025.
rest of the 2024?
Wow, we're thinking ahead. 2025, rest of 2024, yeah, just push the projects that I recently dropped. We have a music video for Monaco, so we're gonna release that, end of the summer. Pieces of Paradise that just came out, that's fresh, so we're gonna keep pushing that, and just keep working on new music. I'm actually working on a new album as well. So
New album. Okay.
yeah, looking to.
Can you
drop that.
tell us what would be the name of the album, or it's still a secret?
Yeah, I've been juggling a few names, right? So still coming soon. I don't
Okay.
wanna. Yeah, I have a few, so
Okay.
nothing I'm certain or definite about yet. So I have a few options, right? I had like Sweet Sensations 2, that was on the option, but I had a few funny ones too.
Dope, dope. So Chucks, how long you been doing music?
Like
About a
long
decade?
time. Yeah, I think I'll say close to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
I had
why
a
exactly
band,
music?
Why?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Why exactly music?
Yeah, why did I choose music? Because music just brings me joy. Music is something that I love doing. It also brings other people joy. So it's a way to give back to people. I find like, if you make positive music, it's really, it can be a blessing, to yourself and others. And just finding that, like, that way to forget yourself and escape in the music is just like a magical feeling. So it's something I try to recreate in my music, and it's just a feeling that it's kind of hard to describe, but I'll say I just love music. So yeah.
Okay, so what did you achieve like in that decade? You've done some awards, something like that?
Yeah, I've done a few festivals, no major awards, just more grassroots stuff. So I'll say a lot of like community things, in terms of just giving back, right? Like there's a few things that we've done over time, and just basically building up my fan base and building up my network and my support, my support base, and getting the music out there, developing my style. So mostly like a lot of like shows, and most like my project Chalks as a solo artist kind of just started, maybe I'll say about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where I just broke out because I had a band before that. So,
okay. What was the band?
It was called Simple Life.
Okay. And you were also doing rap, like Afrobeat?
Yeah, I was doing rap, and we started actually blending out into Afrobeat. So I had a drummer, I had a DJ, and a hype man, and another artist that'll do the choruses.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a pretty fun combination. We had released an EP, worked on the second EP, and started dropping some Afro beats on there. Actually, we had a song called Zuzu Dance. So
okay. So why did you broke out with the band? That wasn't like reliable something?
Yeah, I'll say it's more, everyone just kind of went different directions, and I just love music a lot, where I just want to keep doing it, right? So I always like prioritize music regardless, and I think that's just it.
That's dope. Did you ever try like a different genre except rap and Afrobeat? Maybe something in rock or other styles?
Yeah, I did. I've done a few rock mashup songs. Behind Simple Life Gang, our drummer was actually from a rock band, so I did some songs with him as well. I've done a few EDM songs. I actually find I shine as an EDM, and we were doing some EDM Afro collabs. I think you were in the studio with me the other night. You heard some stuff. So shout out DJ Felix in Vietnam. We're cooking right now. So I love like that high energetic music, right? And
got it.
Yeah, just try to blend all those different styles.
But I also feel like the music industry is not like now it's like more competitive than it ever was before, because like a lot of new artists coming in, and it's a lot of competition there. How do you like overcome the competition?
That's right. I find like you just have to push yourself creatively, right? Like always try to go beyond like the norm, like go beyond what you're used to doing even, and just push yourself in terms of style, in terms of sound. Always go for that next level, find new ways to connect to your audience, because ultimately that's the biggest thing, right? If you connect to the audience, they'll feel you and they'll listen to you. So I think it just goes down to that, right? Like find ways that the audience can relate to you with better, whether it's what you're saying or what you're wearing, or and then in terms of the sound, I think you always sort of have to shock them and give them something catchy, but also something simple to comprehend at the same time. So it's like it's a fine balance, right? And then in terms of like competition and standing out from other artists, I don't necessarily worry about that. I think you just sort of have to stay true to yourself and just push yourself, and the people that will enjoy your music will gravitate towards you, and you kind of have to also put it out there for them to see, obviously. But when they discover it, they'll love you for it. But I think it all comes down to your creative process.
True. I think it's also like a lot depends on networking and the people you know in the industry.
Yeah, I'm also finding like image is playing like a big part, right? Nowadays, like in terms of just how you brand yourself and how you present yourself. So I think that's also huge. And a lot of artists are starting to push the envelope in that too, right? Where they have like a set look or a set a set idea that they try to convey with their clothes or the Instagram feed or things like that, right? So I think that also has like a big part to do with it, and also like people feeling like they know you. So the more you can show yourself or show things that you represent or want to represent, then people actually start to get more of your concept or your idea as an artist, right? Because a lot of these things are in our heads, and if we don't really do it, they don't see it. But at the same time, you have to kind of formulate it and think about it, right? Like, how do I, like you said, how do I stand out? And sometimes people want to do things that are over the top. Sometimes people feel like they don't have to do anything at all. So it's a weird balance, right? But I feel like you always have to do great things, right? So, but it all comes down to what you're thinking about and how long you take to, think about that and what comes out of it, right? I don't know. It's really tough. It's very personal too, right? So, I've seen a lot of artists like evolve their image over the years. Like they went from like a hip hop style to like a classy like suit and tie image. You know what I mean? So it all depends, right? And you just have to understand what the fans want, but also you have to stay true to yourself, right? And what you want to portray to others.
Okay, and you also making music yourself. You engineering music, right?
Yeah.
How did you came up to that? Like, because it's more like technical part of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to like be good with the software and the stuff.
Yeah, it's also your ear.
What was your like first steps into that?
Yeah, that was I just always did that, right? And I was kind of bad at it when I started, to be honest. So I just didn't have the right tools. I think it's all about having the right tools first of all. You have to get the right software, the right equipment, the right microphone, things like that. Everything from the source has to be clean, and then you have to have easy tools to work with. Also, I kind of just used to do it myself, with no education, and I feel like you sort of have to get educated to a certain degree, right? Like you can trust yourself, but you have to know like the base principles. So now I think it's about understanding like frequencies, things like that. Like what are the highs, what are the lows, what frequencies do I have to adjust to get the sound that I need to hear. So yeah, you really have to trust your ear too, and you also have to be in a right a right studio setting where you can really hear the right sound, right? So when I'm at home mixing, it sounds cool, but when I go to a professionally sound treated space to mix, I hear exactly all the dynamics, right? So at that point, I just kind of scrap everything I'm doing and adjust the things I need to adjust. But you also have to know what you need to adjust. And yeah, I guess you just also have to have fun with it, be creative, trial and error, try different things, try different plugins, but also just keep it simple. There's the basics, right? It's EQ, compression, reverb, and then echo, delay. Everything else is just extra.
Do you think like there's any talent to that, or you just like hard work? Because the like the music way is like for artist stuff. I think there should be like some degree of a talent to it, or you just like 100% hard work.
No, it's all there's artistic too. A lot of artistic part to it, because you're not gonna mix all the vocals in the song the exact same way. So when the listener is vibing to the song, you want to give them different dynamics, right? So on the chorus, you kind of want to come in strong sometimes, but maybe on the verse now, you want to come in a little bit muddled. So you have to be creative to think about that and say, okay, maybe on the bridge, I might put a filter on my voice, like things like that, right? So you just have to like kind of think about it and say, okay, this what is gonna enhance the song, and you have to be one with the song to kind of vibe with it and just know, okay. And that's actually the fun part of engineering my own music, because I have the ability to do all those things. I don't necessarily have to rely on someone else's input and get it back and then have to give feedback, right? Like, oh, I like this, I don't like this. And I can kind of do everything on the fly, and I'll make those adjustments when I want, how I want them, right? So I think that's the fun part of engineering your own music. Plus, you save a lot of the cost, right? So, but I like to work with other engineers too, because you can always learn, and you can always just get a better sound sometimes too. But
true. So all the time you were just like self-educating yourself. You didn't take like any degree or something. You didn't go to university for that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I just watch some videos, do some research. Like even just last night, I was making a beat, and I wanted to transpose a key. So I had a key. It was A minor or okay, no,
the Drake.
Yeah. Anyway, that was not the story. But next question.
Yeah. Next question.
No. Well, yeah. Anyway, I was trying to say, like, I wanted to transpose this pitch, right? Like from A to like E. So I had to understand like basically frequencies. Like what frequency is the A key at? I found out it was like 440 hertz. What's E at? It was around like 6 something. And then for me to transpose that, I had to know, okay, I'm taking up the pitch by 700 cents. But how did I know that? There was a calculator online. I literally went online, found a semitone calculator that'll tell you the difference in the pitch. I found the pitches for each of these keys. There was like a table from University of Berkeley. Literally took those numbers, put in the calculator, it spit out the value for me. And I took that and boom, and the beat sounds fire. So that's something I learned now.
That's something genius.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Another one is understanding like different like keys can also give you different feelings. Like I just stumbled on that from listening to samples. So I found like A kind of gives me like a introspective like the feeling. E gives me like E sharp. Or no, E minor, sorry. E minor gives me like a upbeat, dancey feel. C gives me just like a musical, like just straight musical. And basic, if I want basic, I'll go with like C as my key. So things like that, I just like started to understand that. And then if I want to get a certain kind of feeling or emotion on the song, I know, okay, I'm going to look at songs on this certain scale of G, right? Because that's the feeling I want to go, because it's going to make me want to dance, for example.
That's cool. What was like the most, I would say, the most hard year for you in the music industry? Most like complicated year that you maybe there was some times where you wanted to give up on this or something like that.
I think every year is just every year is a struggle. Every year is a
journey. Every day is a struggle.
It's like basically every year is just there's always something, one thing or the other, right? And you just sort of have to keep pushing and just remind yourself why you do it, and find the joy in it, and that's it. Like the times I don't do it, I don't really have that joy that I get from when I do it, right?
So how do you overcome those like feelings when you want to like give up and stuff?
I just I take a break sometimes. Yeah, I take a break and just try to relax. And sometimes I try not to even think about music, and then I just try to get inspired. And sometimes inspiration just comes without me even searching for it. And yeah, that's it. I think it's just getting inspired. Really, you just have to figure out how you can get inspired again.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what is your inspiration usually? Is it like family or maybe fans, something else?
Yeah, usually like family, friends, myself, things I go through. I sit down, meditate. I like to go to the parks,
Meditate.
walks.
How do you meditate?
Yeah, I like to just get a lot of stillness and
Mhm.
quiet and just really think, right. Like I like to think a lot, think about what I want to do next, and I like to go to the parks, go to nice nature spots, out of town, things like that, and just really enjoy life. I like water. I go to the beach a lot,
Mhm.
just lie down and relax, breathe, try to like control my breathing, so those are the little things I
Mhm.
do. But yeah, read, I read too. And yeah, I think, but mostly friends. I get a lot of like motivation from my friends because, they're the ones that will call me and say, hey, I have a new idea for you. You should do a song like this or do a song like that. So shout out Massimo. Even my girl, she's cool. She's always hyping me up when I got like
Sure.
tracks that I kind of like I'm working on, but I don't really necessarily like even think much of. And then I just play it, and she's like, "Oh, that's crazy." And then I'm like, "Oh, wow, yeah," things like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, and shout out Thantu, just hooking me up with different people. Like it's like, well, I got my buddy in Vietnam. He's a crazy producer. We should do a song together. Puts us in the group chat. So things like that. Sometimes it's just the external factors. They just push you, and I think that's really it. You just need that support system. You need to let people know about what you're doing. Let them know why you're doing it, and make sure what you're doing is great enough for them to support you, make it good, right? And then when you're not doing it, they're gonna want you to keep doing it, and they'll speak up. I think that's it, really.
Sure, that's important. Like to keep the real friends close to you.
Yeah,
So
you always have to treat them with respect, treat them with love. I think I keep finding, that's it. Love is really the key. You have to be patient and just always operate on that love vibration, and just keep going strong. Try to fight all the dark feelings. Go towards the light always, and keep your energy up, right?
Sure.
And that's it. It's always better that way than the other way. And
So what is your like final goal in music? You wanna have a big stadiums, big stages?
that used to be a goal, like the big
Mhm.
stadium, the big stages. I think right now my goal for music my ultimate goal actually for music was to change mentalities and change people's I guess like change the shift energies and perception with music, where you don't necessarily have to feel like you have to be stuck listening to negativity because you want to listen
True.
to good music, right? So I think that's my goal, to show people that there's an alternative and there's a different side to music. So it's not necessarily like money or fame or accolades or things like that I'm chasing. I think it's more just chasing music itself, like trying to make the best music I can possibly make, right?
Yeah, the thing you said about the negativity is actually like really true, because on internet there's like more negativity and it gets like more views and more people hear about the negativity than if you do like something positive, nobody will notice it, but if you do something negative, like everybody will notice it.
Right.
So have you tried like this strategy, like to do some negative music, or you were always
That's so funny, because a lot of people have actually tried to tell me to do things like that. Yeah, like I remember this guy wanted to do a beef with me. He's like, let's do a beef.
Fake beef.
So I was like, one of my friends was back in the days, he used to make some jokes. He's like, yo, we should just shoot you in the leg and you probably get famous, So like just weird stuff like that. But yeah, it's always tempting, but I try to just stay true to myself and really understand what I want to do. I've had like people want to do songs with me, and what they're really saying on the song's not kind of what I'm vibing with, and I end up not doing the song, right? So yeah, I'm not really tempted by the fame, or I feel like you don't necessarily need to dumb yourself down or your audience down just to achieve like greatness, right? And a lot of those things of fast food music, sure, it might be good for now, but will it be good for tomorrow, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and if you keep trying to like, just condition yourself to make that kind of music, then you're never gonna get to the point where you're making the other kind of music that you actually want to make, or that you should be making, or music that will actually touch people and change their lives, right?
True. Have you got like any feedback from the people who said like, "Oh, I love your music. Thank you. You helped me in some situation," something like that?
Yeah, for sure. Like I had a friend, and that's it, right? Like I had the song, and I wasn't even listening to the song, and he called me one day, and he's like, "I listen to the song every day, every morning when I wake up, sunrise, I listen to the song. It's a song called Thank You, and it's just a song about being grateful for everything, thanking God for everything He's done for me, and he's not even a Christian, and he loves the song. You know what I mean? So he reminded me of the greatness of that song, and that was just amazing. So I want to make more music like that can just carry people through the day, through the year, just keep going and going and going, and stuff that's timeless, lasts forever, and has impact. So yeah, all the other stuff's fun. I like making fun music too, but I really like this conversation because we're in album mode right now, and on my drive here I was thinking about the balance, for the album. Like, okay, I've been making a lot of bangers, a lot of crazy beats. I made like 2 fire beats yesterday, nuts, but they're all like hype beats, club beats, and I'm thinking I want to make more introspective stuff too, more soft and melodic stuff, and just trying to find that balance, really.
True.
And say things in the song too that would get people to think, almost like prayers and music, right? I don't know how to describe it, but like manifestation in music, things like that, right? So
how do you like write your lyrics?
I don't write.
Just get inspirational sometimes.
I've not been writing recently. It's crazy.
Just like, freestyling?
Recently, no, I don't freestyle. Like I freestyle, but when I've been working on the songs, the lyrics just come to me, and they just stay.
But do you like put them in notebook somewhere?
No, they just stay in my head.
So it's just in your head.
And then I'm just like, because I'm making the beat, and he's like, say you wanna vibe with me, make sure you wanna vibe with me. It's a vibe. Like that's already in my head, right? So that's easy to remember. And then as I keep making the beat, the next part's already coming, and I'm like, hey kitty, I like it when you purr, when you licky. You never like, and that whole verse is about my cat. That verse is about my cat. So if you actually listen to the words, I'm talking about my cat there, because I'm making the beat and my cat's beside me, literally. So I'm like talking to her, and I'm like, say you wanna vibe with me, make sure you wanna vibe with me. And then I go, hey kitty, I like it when you purr, when you licky, because you're licking my hand and purr. I was like, you never like dogs, that's why you sticky. Well, also, I'm talking about a girl at the same time, right? So I was like, you never like dogs, so I sticky. It's like you made fun of me, we both picky. I know you find it hard to trust, but we go bun, girl, it's a must. All of this is just coming to me. I'm talking to her literally, and I was like, I'm gonna take you straight to the nail shop to get her nails cut. She was scratching me because I picked her up, because I was like, with the bun, girl, it's a must, and I picked her up by force, and then she scratched me, and I was like, I'm gonna take you straight to the nail shop, and after that we'll go get some small chops, meaning some treats, right? And that was it. That was the verse, done. And I just went back into the hook. But that's how I did the song. And yeah.
But before you used to like write
if
down
I used
the
to
lyrics?
write, yeah. So then already I have the first verse, I have the hook, right? So I have to just record that, and then now the choice is, do I do a second verse or not? And I'm like, sure, I'll just do a second verse, right? And then I'm vibing, and I just bang it out same way.
Okay.
Yeah. But most times also I write too, like, so I don't forget the song. So I'll have this, then I'll write it down after, if I know I want to come back and record it, like at a later date, right? So like the number 1 song that we did in the studio the other day, that too came to me, right? Like just from the first drop, like I'm a winner, remember like when you first heard it. So like that sound, it's there. Like if I did anything else on that song, it wouldn't sound as good, because that's all I could hear, and that's what needed to be on it, I felt, right? So I did that part, and everything else just came after, because I'm just vibing, and then I was like, let me write this down so I don't forget it. And, yeah.
That's cool. What about like when you're going on a stage, do you have like any fear, or just like, you kind of afraid of a crowd that is going to be there?
No, I just vibe with the crowd. I love the crowd.
Was it like at the beginning when you like? Do you remember your first time you were on the stage?
I was shy. I was scared. I would like literally not want to talk to anybody. I'll tell the DJ, I'm like, run my track. Once I get on the stage, play the song before I even get on the stage, so I don't have to talk to the crowd.
Do you remember like exactly how it is? Like which club, where was that? Your first time on stage?
My first time on stage. Yeah. My first time on stage wasn't even in the club, man. It was like a prom after party. And then that's how I knew I was actually gonna be a rapper, because I had my group, like we had a crew, and these guys they were like much cooler than I was, like way cooler. Like at least that's what I thought. But anyway, we had this song we were gonna perform, and we're all writing verses, and everyone their verses were fire. Like my verse, I was just like, wow, how are you guys' verses so good? Like my verse sounded like a nursery rhyme compared to them, right? But it was my verse. So literally, we got on stage, we all did our stuff. Then after like a few years later, I'm listening to some Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I'm like, dude, those guys, they all jacked their verses from the song. It wasn't their verses. They took other rappers' verses. So that's why it sounded so good. So I was actually the only one that wrote my verse, like for real. And that's how I knew like I had talent to actually do this, and started believing in myself as an artist.
Have you ever did like those guys? Have you ever like stole lyrics from some other like rapper?
Yeah, I would say it's like jacking more. And sometimes I just do it because it's more like the nostalgia effect. So it's easier for people to relate with what you're saying if they have heard it before. You know, so if I'm coming to you with something completely brand new, like a brand new idea, it's gonna be harder for you to understand. Like, remember the first time you heard about Bitcoin and you were like, what is that? I'll never do that. And now everyone's like, it's mainstream. You know what I mean? So if you come with something new, it's like radical. So I find like to ease people in, you can throw in something that they're familiar with, right? So that's what I do. So maybe if I say a line from one of your favorite songs, you might like on number one, I did that. But I was like, who got the keys to the Beamer? To the Beamer. So that's a famous Beanie Man song where he goes, who got the keys to the Beamer? And then after that, I said my phone on D&D, like Rema. Rema has a song called D&D. And the girl in the studio, she was excited, you know. Janie, she loved it, right?
That's dope.
That's her favorite artist.
How does it come to your mind, like to rhyme the lyrics? Because it's kind of tough for me to understand how to like rhyme the words and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just vibing, man. Like vibing, feeling the vibe, feeling the flow. I can't even describe it. Like you see, like that, all those rhymes I did for you, I came up with it on the spot, and I wanted to say that D&D like Rema, because I knew, I don't know, such just weird. I don't know how to describe it. And even the rhymes after that, where I was like, I'm always official or whatever, right? Like I know subscribe to your issue. Now me go bring you the tissue. When I was writing that, I had no idea where that was going. I had no idea. I was like, I know subscribe to your issue. Now me go bring you the tissue. Yeah, because I'm always official. Now referee blow the whistle, and then boom.
Yeah,
and it's like, what? So it's like referee official. Crazy, man. So yeah, it's just fun for me, and that doesn't even go with the first part of the song where I'm like, I'm a winner. Doesn't go with that at all. Two different songs, but all in one song. And I wanted to do a bit of rap, right? Because my girl likes the way I rap, so I was like, that's why I did that. I was like, I'm gonna put some rap, so I'm not just singing on the song.
Have you tried like working, because we in Canada here, have you tried working with the American artists, something like that? Did you get any connections from there?
Oh yeah, I should actually. Yeah, no, definitely. I've worked with like a few artists, not necessarily American. I'll say like outside America, like Nigeria, Vietnam.
Okay.
Yeah, things like that. Russia.
Yeah,
so more international, but yeah, I think the States would be a good look for sure.
True. Do you think there's like a difference between the Canadian like hip hop rap culture and the American?
Yeah,
culture?
Definitely. I'll say the American culture is more
developed.
Yeah, more mature. Yeah, they've had more experience doing it. There's more people there, a lot more money, a lot more support for their music there. So definitely, it's a good look if you're able to cross over.
True.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, that's a good strategy. Thanks for the
Welcome. Dope. Okay, what else? Do you have something else to say us?
I'm just saying I'm loving this podcast, and I'm getting a
Thank
lot
you.
of ideas
Hopefully.
for my career too, because I've been in the game for a while, but at the same time I feel like we're just getting started with the new direction we're taking. So a lot of these will definitely be applied, and next time here I'll be a different person. You'll be able to recognize me. I won't even be able to speak. I'll just be like,
your work will speak for itself.
Right. I'll just play the beat. I'll have tracks that'll literally just answer all the questions.
All right. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully there's got to be somebody who will watch it. Thank you.